Welcome to The Soul Space, the podcast that inspires you to discover your truth, ignite your passion, and align your life with the power of who you really are. I'm Georgia Rose, psychic astrologer. I share the cosmic roadmap that guided me through astrology, tarot, and inner knowing into authentic living. I'm here to help you decode your soul's cosmic story, reconnect with your passion, and create the life you are meant to live. It all starts within, and it all starts now in the soul space. Hey everybody, it's Georgia Rose from Zenkuda. And today is the finale of the soul space. We're going to be back in, maybe a few weeks or so. I'm thinking and mulling and revamping, so I'm not really sure what we're doing, but I know it's going to be good. So tonight's show is a finale show. We're going to take a breather, a break, a hiatus, and I know when we come back, we're going to be really different. What prompted me to do this? Well, we're going to go over some of the energy that we've had in play for 2026 since we started the year and how that has really come in to kind of, make me be more contemplative and think about my next step and what I want to do. If I had to describe the first 5 months of 2026, and, we were building up to this back in December, I will say that 2026 is the year that the future came in. All right. This is the year of the future. The future is here now. It's not like we're looking out at it. It's here. And that has contemplated very heavily on me. And it's also a time when I don't want to waste time. So I'm going to talk tonight a little bit about where I'm headed and what this last 6 months has meant to me. And also talk a little bit about what we've all been going through as a planet, as a country, as everything, and maybe make some sense of this energy. But for those of you who just tuned in, I am Georgia Rose, and I am a psychic astrologer. I'm also a Reiki master and a yoga instructor, and I do a lot of things. I'm actually, before I forget, going to be doing a live event every month at the yoga studio in Babylon, New York, Long Island Yoga. And it's going to be an exhale after work. It's Wednesdays at 5:30. It'll be once a month. So watch your emails, watch my social media for that if you want to come out and see me. It is an hour and a few minutes of complete reset, just breath work and slight movement and some real realignment that we all need. And it just is a kind of bringing ourselves back to a grounding moment in community. So for those of you who know my show, one thing that the new show will have, I guarantee it, is still a cosmic comedy moment because we take ourselves way too seriously. And I picked one today that kind of sums up where we all are in the world right now. It's time for Cosmic Comedy, where Mercury retrograde is the main character, the lunations are loony, and the stars are a punchline.
It doesn't matter. It's all made up. It's stupid. We're all fighting over made up shit. It's all, and we listen to dumb people that tell us about the made up shit, and we gobble it up. Everyone's like, astrology's dumb. No, the economy is dumb. The economy is dumb. Money is dumb. Astrology's fine. Astrology's never been like, you're broke. You gotta stay home.
True that, right? That's true. Astrology never lies to us. It really doesn't. I've been doing astrology for a long time, and I can guarantee you the chart is your roadmap. So I want to get serious for a moment before we recap 2026. I picked some cards for tonight's show, and I picked them ahead of time because, it just always gets a little awkward when I shuffle on the show. And the cards that we picked today are, if Bobby wants to put the camera on, are the King of Pentacles, which really is appropriate for me right now because the King of Pentacles is about abundance. It's about coin and money. It's about business. It is about really coming into our own agency and sense of self. And so when the King of Pentacles comes up as the first card in a spread, it means that the reading itself really means business. So it's going to be a good show for us, especially when I'm trying to exercise my own agency, empower myself to my next step, and we get the King of Pentacles. The next card that I got was the Wands. It is the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands in tarot means that you're carrying burdens, but that the burdens that you're carrying may not be yours. And I think this really sums up the first few months of energy of 2026. we all really started to get free and think about how to achieve even more liberation. And so what happened was we suddenly realized what wasn't ours to carry anymore. And we said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. Not mine. And then the other card that I got is the Sun card, which is a major arcana card. And the Sun in tarot is a major arcana. And basically, this is good health, good abundance, enlightenment. And also, I'm going to take this as allowing ourselves to be visible. You know, what are the parts of ourselves that we're afraid to show, that we're afraid to be seen, that we sometimes in relationship or partnerships or business, we hide things away because we're afraid of judgment or we're afraid that we'll be unacceptable. And so this beautiful Sun card comes in to show us that we do have the agency, the King of Pentacles, and we are carrying things and need to release burdens that aren't ours in order to be fully out there and visible and seen. The Sun card in tarot also is very much the Leo card, and along with the Strength card. And Leo is an energy where we want validation for being seen. We want validation. We want an audience. We want to be the presenter and acknowledged as a presenter. And we all have that ability in us. So it's really a cool place to be. So those are the cards I picked for tonight's show. So now I am stepping into a new part of my endeavors in my spiritual life and my business life. And for 30 years, and a few months ago, I did a couple of videos and shows about my unboxing. And I said, you know, I've been fragmented. I've always categorized my life, and it's time to just integrate everything and be who I am. Let's be authentic, right? The 2026, it's the future. We're all just going to be authentic now. We want to come into our real rhythm. And for 30 years, I've lived two lives. I'm a real estate broker. I'm a business entrepreneur. I'm the person who, you know, I'm the broker in the boardroom and the mystic in the meditation room. Really interesting combination. Not many people are that. I thought I had to choose, and I was wrong. I don't have to choose. It's who I am. I can be both. I can be both all the time. I can show both sides to everyone. True success isn't about money. True success isn't about the business that you're in, whether you're a realtor like myself or whether you are some other kind of entrepreneur. Maybe you're a spiritual business person, or maybe you own a store or retail business, or you're an artist. Whatever it is, the business. And true success isn't about the money. It isn't about the coin. It isn't about the pentacles, as we say in tarot. It's about the alignment. And I've learned that over my last 30 years. And that's why I've come to be the perfect combination of the spiritual, the yogi, the psychic, the astrologer, the Reiki master, because I know that my success in the material world is very dependent on my spiritual alignment. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people will be on the rise up and they will be so consumed by the business end of things that they don't take time out to be the Zen Kuda, to be in alignment. And that's what my next step is now, is integrating all parts of me. I'm finally coming home to my whole self. It's a very frightening feeling because I've never been here before, really. But it's also a really amazing and optimistic time because I no longer have to fragment myself. And these are the people I help by coaching and business and training and teaching and my clients. I no longer have to separate that from these are the people who watch the soul space and these are the people who come to me for astrology. Now it's all one. It's going to be all one. The wellness, the business, all of it, because that's who Georgia is. And I can't only show certain sides to everyone because it's an incomplete picture. If I need to have validation in my outer world, I have to first have it in my inner world. And that's been the really big lesson of my last few years. And it's been beautiful. So I'm here to show people how to dominate their market without losing their soul. Because that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And it's an amazing place to be because it brings you so much more happiness and joy and it expands so much love in your life. So I hope that you guys will keep following me. In the weeks to come, you're going to see more video on the YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed to Zen Kuda on YouTube. I'm going to be doing courses online. I'm doing the event on Wednesdays at the local yoga studio in Babylon for those of you who are on Long Island. And there'll be other things too. I'm probably going to do some other events here at the studio while the show is dark. We're probably going to do some live events here at the studio in Massapequa with an audience. We are limited, but we will sell tickets for those things. So stay tuned because there is a lot of energy that's coming in and it is going to be absolutely amazing. So whatever is your goal in your life, we're going to master those goals and we're going to do it by aligning our real inner self. So stay tuned because the astrology is going to be our roadmap and I'm going to show you the Zenkuda way. So let's recap. I'm just going to see who's on because I was in a different program. So I'm going to see who, oops, got to lower my voice. And also I do want to give Bobby and Paradise Studios, Strong Island Television, a really big plug tonight because I cannot express in words how much Bobby, I'm going to cry, how much Bobby has like been a supporter of mine and taught me a lot of things about the technical end of doing these things. And you'll see the show always looks better and better every time you watch it. The lighting, the sets. He is the most hardworking producer you'll ever find. And he's actually doing a podcast school, which I attended for the last 4 weeks, and in order to get my home videos up and running a lot better. And if any of you are interested in that, you got to come in and you got to talk to Bobby because it is priceless to do it. So just want to put that plug in there. Oh, and also on Friday nights, he has an open mic night and we have comedians that come down. All kinds of people come down to the studio and it's just an open mic. It's pretty cool. You never know what's going to happen. So I want to say hi to Joanna. We're going to have Joanna on my show when it comes back on. She's written a book, not published yet, but we're going to talk about that. It's actually about her years as a ghost hunter. Really, really cool stuff. Hi, Trisha. Hope you had a great weekend. And I've got Ann Dillon on, Ann Rothney, and Cheryl's here. And there are some other people I can see on the board, but they're not commenting, which is fine. So I want to talk about this last 5 months, but I'm really going to say 6 months because December was when it all really started to come together for what 2026 was going to feel like. And I talked about 2026 probably from 2024 on because it was such a momentous time that we're seeing. This is a wrap-up year. The future is here now, but we're still wrapping up the pieces of 2025 and back. I'm going to say the most significant time frame is probably from 2020 when COVID started because we really found ourselves in a new world order and we're starting to see the fruition of a lot of the things that happened then in our own personal lives and also in the globe. But if I had to describe 2026, I'd say it feels like a year of destiny. It's initiation and it's also irreversible transformation. Like even just me having the dialogue that I just said while I was on air is something that never would have been communicated to an audience before. And you can't go back from that. It's like there's no going back now. We see the things for what they really are. And like I said in my January and February shows, and you can watch those on my Zenkuda channel on YouTube. People call up sometimes and say, oh, I missed the show. You never miss a show. They're there. They're always there. They're just live at this time. So I remember saying in the beginning of the year about how the transformation was going to be really deep and how things were starting to become a little bit intolerable for us. And like it was that threshold of intolerance that was actually going to push us forward. And we had all this Aquarian energy that came in. And we had this stellium, like all these planets in Aquarius, which now are in fire, Aries. They're all in Aries now, moving towards Taurus. But that Aquarian energy that set off the year made us really start to think about ourself in not a selfish way, but in a really healthy, like, where do I really want to be in my life way? What's unique about me that I want to take forward? And what am I really willing to tolerate? And so we began to really reflect. And that reflection was the purpose of it. It had a purpose. It wasn't just like we were home thinking and, getting in the dark. It was like we had a lot of reflection about purposeful integration. The reflection wasn't just to wallow in the past. Now with Aquarius, which is an air sign, we were refreshed and it was like the winds of change were blowing in January and February. And it felt like all of a sudden we were having these revelations and the soul was unfolding years of stuckness. And that's how we started off the year. So this reflection, this contemplation had a purpose. And the purpose was that irreversible transformation that I'm talking about. Like there's no going back. Like suddenly we see the light, we saw the truth. And from then on, it was like, yeah, this isn't working for me anymore. And then we had other energy that came in, but that set the tone. That set the real tone of the whole year. And we're going to see a lot more of that in different ways. Hey, Elaine, thanks for coming in. So, astrologically, 2026 is always and was always going to be a paradox year. It was a year where a lot of planets changed signs. The signs themselves that the planets went in are very supportive influences for change and transformation. Yet, as much as the world around us feels like it's being shaken and like there's an energy quake going on and things are being rearranged, we're rewriting our stories against that backdrop. And we can choose to, be entangled by that and have that global anxiety, that energy quake within us. Or like most of us are really doing who are enlightened is we're using the energy to rewrite our story to show us what we don't want to be part of. And that's a really interesting turnaround from our previous years where we felt, stuck and we felt almost like in chains in some ways, especially coming off those forced seclusions and sequesterings of the great COVID epidemic. So this is the year where intelligence and compassion merged because we had technology and AI. But if you notice now, a lot of people are using AI to understand their thoughts better, to organize their thoughts, to, I am guilty of even sometimes when I've had an argument with my partner, I ask AI to compose a text or an email for me. So we're using AI, not that it has compassion, but we're using it in compassionate ways. We're using it to better ourselves, to reach our full potential in some ways without allowing it to overly suggest or be our thoughts. We can use it to make a suggestion, which can be very powerful in itself. But for me, it's a time saver, especially with calendars and things like that. I can input things in AI and it will categorize and schedule things for me. And that's a godsend because for me, that means that energy can go someplace else. So 2026 is the year of the best use of our energy. How are we using that energy? I don't want to be here, but I want to take up space here. What's the best way I can do it? And we've been working through a lot of that these last few months. The human evolution is accelerated. I don't think any of us will argue the fact that everything is accelerated right now. Everything. It's just so fast. Seeds are planted that will shape the next century, right? We're seeing things move so rapidly that we know some of these things are shaping way into the future. I will not be here when some of these things actually come to fruition. And then the other thing, and you even heard it on that little comedy, cosmic comedy, truth becomes non-negotiable. We want the truth. We're seeking the truth. Even that doom scrolling on social media, what are you looking for really? You're looking for the truth. You try to wade through the BS, but you can't because the truth's within you. The truth is within you. It's not on that screen. It will never be on that screen again. Not with AI and augmented AI and all of these things. So truth becomes non-negotiable for us because now we are going to find the truth from within. Now we're going to use that little place in the back of our neck, that mouth of God, that shows us intuitively through what our body feels what is true and what isn't. That's huge. That is an evolution of the species of humanity. The old systems collapse because they can't hold the new frequency. Think about what we just said about how the truth is within us and our intuition is now going to be so heightened that we go there instead of the doom scrolling, instead of the news, instead of this commentator. So what does that mean? It means the old systems can't survive in that. When people think for themselves and using AI to organize those thoughts, not think for us, using these beautiful creative things that we have, in a way that broadens us, not constricts us, that constructs us, not destructs us. The systems that have been in place for hundreds of years can't work. Because the more we start going within for our own discernment and our own truth, what will happen is you start to feel the soul space more. And the soul space expands and grows. Love expands and grows. And so then what happens is we're not satisfied with the old systems. Now, like I opened the show and I said, If you want to be successful in life, you got to align everything. You got to align your soul. You got to align your emotions. You got to align yourself, your essence. That's where true success comes from. So think about it. The old systems don't teach us that. The old systems don't resonate with that. The old systems want to control us in a paradigm and a framework. The new system is freedom because we're going to go within. And when we get more and more in touch with that soul space and we live from there, now the idea of what success is and what we truly want to do and where we want to take up space changes. Now it becomes, I want to live on a farm. Now it becomes, I want to wake up and see something beautiful every day. Now it becomes, I want to be a mom. Now it becomes, I want to live somewhere where I can take up space in this way. This is what my soul is telling me I really need to do. And we're going to find new ways as a species to not only evolve that, but also to be able to make that happen and still be able to preserve ourselves in stability, in security, and in safety. So 2026 is a turning point in human consciousness. It's a turning point in everything. And the astrology has reflected that from day one. If you go back and watch every single one of the podcasts, you'll see how it unfolded. And now for the next half of the year, it's going to unfold more. July is going to be a huge month of change. And I'll be guiding you and I'll be giving information on the YouTube channel, doing all kinds of videos for you, even if the podcast is dark for a little while. But January started off, January was the ignition. We had all of this energy in Capricorn and Aquarius and Jupiter in Cancer opposing it. And it was just amplifying it. It was a triple ignition with the Sun, Venus, and Mars all in conjunction at that time. And it fed our purpose. This was in January, February. It fed our purpose. It fed our desire. It fed our action. We started taking responsibility for ourselves in a really, extreme way, in a proactive way. We started to look at things more long term. We weren't into the instant gratification anymore. Now we were really starting to think about, where do I really want to be for the rest of my life? And that Capricorn energy said, no more half truths. I need total honesty. I've got to have an honest life. And so everything started to expand. And the things that were keeping us small and diminishing us had to go. We no longer could tolerate them. And so Aquarius is very futuristic energy. So in the beginning of the year, January and February, with all that energy in Aquarius, it made us look towards the future. It made us look into that broader, expanding energy of where I really want to be. And then we started to feel revolutionary. Once we started to sit with it, we got a little rebellious. And we're like, you know what? I don't really have to sit in this space. And it became real for us. And we started to be very uncompromising. And you saw that play out in the backdrop of the global energy as well. You saw new social structures starting to come in, new communities form, new identities, right? And new ways of thinking and relating. And they all played out. It exposed to us what was outdated. It also exposed what was corrupt. The Epstein files were all over the news in a big way, right? What was unsustainable? When we went into, for here in the United States, went into Iran, what was unsustainable? Well, the oil markets, for one, right? They're all over the place right now, right? They were built on an old paradigm. Going to have to find a new way to do it. What's authentic? That was the big question we were asking ourselves in February and into March. What's authentic? What's real? What's not real? We started to question everything, everything. You even had newscasters coming into play that they weren't being honest online. Shocker there. You had the exposing of everything that was built on illusion. So many things. Prince, who used to be known as, is it Edward? No, it's the other one. Who is it? I don't know. I don't really follow. You see how much I know about events. That was stripped of his title. Prince Andrew was stripped of his title. So you saw those, things that were unsustainable, corruption being exposed. Whatever was built on illusion just couldn't be there anymore. This is the cosmic sorting out. This is the moment when the vibrational checkpoint comes in and starts testing everything. It's like holding a meter. Like when you ever test electric and you hold a meter against something, it's like that. It's like, is this going to be able to go in the future? Nope, out. Is this going to work in the future? Ping. Oh, that's good. I'll bring that with me. That's what we're doing, guys. We're testing everything. Is this good enough? Is this going to be in the future? Because everything's changing really fast now. So you're either aligned with your future self or you're really feeling a resistance. You're feeling friction. And you're like, what is this feeling? Where is it coming from? Because you're not aligned with your future self. And the old person, the old ways, the old things that we're in, the containers we live in, the frameworks, they just can't come with us into the future. They don't work anymore. And then we had a Uranus-Saturn alignment. This was around the end of January into February, March. It lasted a long time. And all of a sudden, we got clarity. Yeah. Going into March, guys, we woke up. We were like, hey, I'm clear now. This is definitely got to go. I'm never having this conversation again. And then Neptune entered Aries. And Neptune went to Aries, and it's a whole new spiritual game. We're no longer even remotely attracted to playing that victim role that we had in Pisces. No. Those years since 2011, beep, down the drain. Now, Neptune and Aries, fire. We're like, yeah, that person did that to me, but you know what? That's not going to rule my life anymore. I am me. I'm going to get to where I need to be. Whereas the Pisces years were like, oh, my mom beat me. My mother was an alcoholic. I just can never function. Yeah, no. Now we're in a totally new territory. Now it's like, yeah, that happened. But you know what? I think I'm going to get those plane tickets to France. I've always wanted to go there. We're totally, totally in a different place, guys. I hope some of you are identifying with this because I know it's what's been going on. So this is the birth of the spiritual warrior. This is the real birth of like, I'm going to embody what I believe and I'm going to make it a thing in my life. Whether that means you're going to church every Sunday or you're in the soup kitchen or whatever it is, you are now embodying those things that were not clear before. You're aligned, you're purpose driven. And this is what I mean by the cosmos are so supportive of what we want to do now. And it doesn't have to be any grand gesture. It could just be, I always wanted to live on my own and I never have. It could be, I really am not happy with my life in the current place I am. I'm going to move across country. Or my cousin just moved to Italy and I want to go live with her. Or it doesn't have to be anything like hugely grand, although some of those things may sound a little grand to some. It could just be the thing that you always wanted to do. You know, maybe you wanted to take a year off of work and get a motorhome and just go to the Grand Canyon. You know, whatever it is, now the universe is really giving us the energy to do it. We can't pretend anymore. We need to live our truth and we need to step into who we really are. It's time. And that's why I'm going on hiatus because I got to put all this together. And now we have Chiron still in Aries. It's healing us through action. Like I just said, we don't want to be crying in the wound anymore. Now we're like, I just can't take this. I'm going to go forward. And then all of this energy that we had in this blender and this salt shaker of the last few months, what does it mean? What is the universe really saying? Well, step out of whatever your situation is, whether it's the crappy job or the not so great relationship or whatever the negative places in your life. We all have them, and I don't want to dwell on them because we have positive things too. Whatever your situation is, we all have them, right? We all have different circumstances. But what the universe is telling us is all the same. It's the same message for all of us, whatever the circumstance is. And this is what it's asking you to do. Step into your truth. Release outdated identities. Break generational patterns. Claim your power. Build a future that's aligned with your soul. Stop negotiating with your potential. And stop shrinking to fit old versions of yourself. You're not who you were in January. You're not even who you were last month. You're evolving at an accelerated speed. And there's a reason that your soul is here right now experiencing this. And it's so that you can come into alignment with your true power and what you're meant here to be and feel and do. And I'm going to tell you, whatever the circumstance of our lives are, the reason we're all here is to expand love and joy in our life and have compassion for each other. So our intuition is going to rise. Those spidey senses, the psychic stuff, whatever you want to call it, it's going to rise in every single person because we have to go within in order to do this work. And we have to go within to find our own ground, our own barometer in order to know what truth is and what the soul space and our path is. Our authenticity is going to rise. Soul-driven leadership is going to rise. The authentic people are going to rise to the top. Those leaders who are authentic, those inspirational people, they will rise. We're just not seeing them right now. So honor the parts of yourself that refuse to give up. Because all that crying around that we did when Neptune was in Pisces since 2011, all the traumas that happened to us and the stuff that came to the surface, we had to grieve it. We had to be wallowing in it a little bit. It was watery. It was, cathartic. Thank yourself for being part of that journey because it's bringing you to where you are now. Those are years where you felt your soul. You also felt growth. You're still learning about yourself. We all are. What I said in the beginning of the show tonight, I'm being quite honest. I'm not really absolutely I don't have the roadmap totally mapped out yet. That's why I'm taking a step back so that I can do it. Because when I come back, I'm going to be my whole self. I'm going to be who I'm really supposed to be on this mic. And hopefully have guests that are the same. So honor the parts of you that are becoming. And that has a lot to do with when you come to me for a chart reading, which you can book on zenkuda.com. Your first house and your rising sign has a lot to do with who you are becoming in this energy. And when I read that for you, I can give you details about it. So right now, the energy for right now, what's going on in May? I'm going to do a video on my YouTube channel, Totally May Astrology. If you're a subscriber, you get a little notification when that goes on. It'll probably be in the next day or so. Right now, we have Saturn conjunct Neptune in Aries. That's broken apart a little bit. It's not a close conjunction anymore, of course. But that hadn't happened since, 1861. And it never happened at the first degree of Aries. But that timing was the start of the American Civil War. It was the beginning of mass photography and the birth of modern spiritualism. So can you see some parallels? Yeah. So that's the energy that we're dealing with now, super accelerated. It was the moment where things that are invisible became visible, like the photography that happened in 1861 when Saturn and Neptune were together. It made something that Neptune would normally be unseen visible. You can't see a moment in your hand, right? But a photograph, you can see a moment in your hand. So the mystical became practical. The intuitive became embodied. And that's what we're in now, the same energy. The dream becomes the blueprint. Like I have this beautiful blueprint mapped out, but I haven't filled in the colors and the lines yet. But I'm excited about it. And I know it's going to be awesome, awesome, awesome. So ask yourself who you are becoming. Who you are becoming. Where are you headed to? Because it's now. And all of these planets that we have in Aries now, which are starting to move apart, this is about this massive concentration of planets in Aries. Like the astrologers that are my mentors that have been doing this lifetimes, they looked back and couldn't even find any time when all those planets were in Aries ever in the whole history. So the energy is raw, it's instinctual, it's primal, it's courageous. And that's why you see so much aggression out in the world. But we can use that and harness that. It's like harnessing fire can be so powerful if we use it for our assertion and we breathe life into the dream, right? We breathe life into the soul initiative. But you have to begin. You have to put one foot in front of the other and begin. This is an energy where every day can't be like the last day. Tomorrow can't be yesterday. It can't be that Groundhog Day. This is ignite, ignite, emerge, emerge, birth, birth. Begin, begin. And it's the year of when you're going to not just start new chapters, but you become the author of your life. You become the author of your soul's transcript, blueprint. You're writing the next version of your future. We all are. I'm excited to go home and start working on this. And I want to bring this to the company I work for. I want to bring this to all of you. I want to bring this to myself. I feel like we're all one in this. We're all in the same boat. I'm feeling you. You're feeling me, you know? And now the final thing that just happened is Uranus went into Gemini. And the last 2 shows were about that a lot. But Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. And it was shaking up money, food, land, values, our body and health, stability, security. And you're seeing that. I mean, the COVID years, the scarcity, the food supply now, which I think stock up because we're going to have a lot of problems in the fall. But it was slow and earthy, and things were between Neptune and Pisces making us cloudy, and Uranus and Taurus being stuck. Like Taurus is the bull. You ever try and move a bull? So all these ideas and thoughts and things we wanted to do were just so stuck. And now they're starting to move fast. They're electric. They're mental. They're innovative. They're communicative. It's a network. And so this is the age not only of information, it's the age of acceleration, and it's the age of our full potential. There's so much fire and air in the sky that the universe is really supporting us to do what we really, really want to do. So ask yourself, what do you deserve? What do you really want to do? So on a personal level, Gemini and Uranus in Gemini brings sudden insights. It brings mental breakthroughs, new ideas, new connections, new ways of communicating, which I'm demonstrating right now, new ways of learning, new ways of expressing your truth. It's the liberation of our minds. And that's why it's going to bring more power to the people than the old constructs and structures. It's going to be individual. It's going to be community. It's going to be groups with the Pluto in Aquarius. So 3 words that I want you guys to work with, because this is what I'm working with, so we'll all work with it together, okay? I want you guys to think about this because I've been thinking about it, and it would be great if we could all do this together. So if our 3 words for this month could be courage, clarity, and clean breaks. Courage, clarity, and clean breaks, because this energy, especially for May, is all about breakthroughs and bold choices and the completion of cycles and starting new cycles. It's soul-aligned action, though. If it's something that's coming from a desire of the ego or in a mercenary way or a really super material way that's not born of a higher meaning, it's not going to work. This is truth over comfort. So it's a cosmic threshold. And I'm going to miss doing the show because I do love coming to the studio and seeing all of you guys and online, and we all come together and we're such a great community. And I know I have my people that are always here Monday, and I'm going to miss you the next few weeks, but I'm going to be on YouTube and I'm going to be on Facebook, and I'm going to devote more time to that, because in order to birth our new lives, we have to stop feeding the old one. So I don't want to feed this space anymore for a little while, because it's going to be a better, newer space. And I have to feed that. And so it's a month of becoming. And I hope you guys know that I'm here with you as you're becoming, just as you are with me. And I can feel the energy, and I can feel you rooting for me, and I can feel the love that's out there. And I know that this is what's going to make the world go round, and what's going to align us all is this feeling of support and this beautiful place that we've created over the airwaves. And I look forward to seeing some of you at some live events, and trusting my own instincts as to what the future is going to hold and where I'm going to land. But I know we'll be back here with a different podcast, and I'm looking really forward to it. So I just really love you all, and being in the soul space has been my greatest joy so far. So can't wait to see what's even a bigger joy for me and you. Alrighty, so I think that's the show for tonight. And I'll see you out there. So subscribe to Zenkuda on YouTube if you haven't yet. And if you need a reading, zenkuda.com. And I'm on all social media too. See you guys. Bye-bye.